Mark Zuckerberg suddenly became a conservative overnight? No, what if he became, what if he became a racist bigot? What if Mark Zuckerberg announced that just as a bizarre example, that no black people were allowed to use Facebook? If he announced that, how insane would that be? How bigoted would that be? But according to so many people out there, oh, it's a private company. They can do whatever they want to do. Really? What if they announced that no gay people can post on Facebook? How big of an outcry would there be? Because that's wrong. Every human, no matter the color of your skin, no matter your sexual orientation, no matter your religion, every human has a right to speak. But Facebook is banning conservatives, and Facebook is banning Christians, and Facebook is banning Trump supporters, and gun owners, and people who believe in the Constitution, defending our borders. Why is that okay? It's not okay. And it's time for Trump to unleash the full power of government that he currently controls to stop the censorship of humanity by evil techno-fascists. If you listen to InfoWars or watch InfoWars every day, it's very easy to take this for granted and to take for granted the fight that Alex Jones is in, and the fight that all of us are in, the fight of our lives to fight for human freedom, for your right to speak, not just our own right to speak. I just want to say on the record, you know, we are blessed, humanity is blessed to have a fighter like Alex Jones who is willing to stand up against all these vicious attacks. And believe me, he hasn't even told you the half of it. He hasn't even told me the half of it, and he's probably told me maybe more than he's mentioned publicly. And of course, I have attacks on me as well. But I'll just tell you, the things that we know behind the scenes are so outrageous, you would not even believe them. And maybe someday it'll all come out if Alex chooses to share more, but that'll only happen probably after we defeat the globalists. And then I think Alex Jones will go down in history as a champion of human freedom. Don't take this for granted, the fact that InfoWars is here. If Alex were any less of a fighter, if he were a weak person, InfoWars would have been defeated long ago, no question about it. And people like Paul Joseph Watson are really treasures for humanity. It's not an exaggeration. Paul Joseph Watson being willing to speak out and standing up against the censorship and the attacks, and now being labeled essentially a dangerous international terrorist, if you can believe that. I mean, President Trump just gave the Medal of Freedom to a golfer. I hope that one day President Trump might consider giving the Medal of Freedom to some of these champions of independent media who have really stood up against tyranny. And it's, you know, your support is absolutely crucial. Do not take this platform for granted. It's your purchases that keep this place alive. And, you know, I'm a food scientist. I'm a nutritional supplement scientist. I run a lab. I saw they have, InfoWars has a sale today on their B12 formula. It's a new formula. It's got double the B12, 5,000 micrograms of the methylcobalamin form of B12. And I have to say, as a formulator and a scientist, you will absolutely not find a better deal on this form of B12 from anybody anywhere. In fact, we couldn't sell it for this low. We'd probably lose money if we tried to sell it for this low. I don't know how he gets that good of a deal. Do you realize that that key ingredient, methylcobalamin, if I recall, the raw material of that in powder form, I think it costs $12,000 a kilo. Yeah, some of these raw materials are more expensive than, you know, the most insane substance that you can think of. I mean, the cost of this is incredible because it's the bioavailable form of B12. There's other supplements, cheaper supplements that say they have B12, but they use what's called cyanocobalamin, which is a cyanide molecule combined with, you know, the cobalamin portion of the molecule. And it's not nearly as effective. And it's dirt cheap. It's just a few $100s a kilo versus, I think it's over $12,000 a kilo for the methylcobalamin. So you're getting like ultra premium ingredients in huge functional doses at crazy discounted prices. Even I, as someone who runs an entire nutritional supplement organization, I'm just astonished at what InfoWars is able to put together. They must have got the best deal ever seen in the industry. And if you get the auto ship on that, it's another 10% off. I think it's like $22 and something for a bottle. So check it out at InfoWarsStore.com. Support your health and support this organization. Without Alex Jones, We don't have this platform to fight for human freedom. And I agree with Alex. I think we're going to win, but we're going to have to go through sheer hell, I think, to get there, because the battle is on. Now, we've been here before. The human race has been here before. We saw the rise of the Third Reich. We saw fascism take over. And what's interesting about what's happening in the left today, the leftists, the Antifa people, the left-wing media, the journo terrorists, they are whipping up hatred in the same way that the Third Reich whipped up hatred against the enemies of Adolf Hitler. Before they could carry out the Holocaust, they had to create and invoke all of this hatred of their political enemies, their targeted enemies. That's exactly what social media is doing today. It's exactly what CNN is doing today. CNN is a factory of hate. And of course, they label everything that they want to censor hate speech, while they are pushing hatred every day. They are pushing bigotry. They are pushing intolerance. They are, in essence, advocating violence. Even Facebook, they'll ban Paul Joseph Watson, but do they ban channels that actually openly advocate, let's say, radical Islamic terrorism? No, often they don't. Maybe in a few cases they have, but often they don't. Do they ban the channels that call for the murder and execution of President Trump? No, they don't ban those channels, because that's the hatred that they want to spread. That's who they are. All of these big tech organizations, they are at war with humanity. Now, let me address something that I've been criticized on about this. I have said that President Trump needs to use the power of government to go to war with these tech companies, to arrest their CEOs and shut them down. That's what I've said. That's my view. That's not the official InfoWars view. Alex hasn't said that. That's me saying that. Some people have said, well, why would you want government to decide, which corporations are allowed to operate? No, you don't understand. Every institution in society is at war against humanity and human freedom, including the left-wing governments, the left-wing deep state, the bureaucracy, the corporations, the education institutions, the Hollywood media, everything. Everything is at war with humanity. And for this very short period of time, this short window, we have elected President Trump. He's in control of some small portion of the federal government. He must use what we control now. He must weaponize, that's not the right word. He must stop the weaponization of social media against us by using the power of government to defend humanity against this weaponization of speech that has been carried out by the social media giants. So, in other words, government uses coercion to stop people. Government uses coercion to stop criminals. Government uses coercion to stop corporations sometimes. It's time to use that power while we have it, because we're never going to have it again if we don't defeat these tyrants, these techno-fascists right now. It's like if you were fighting in World War II and you're trying to defeat Adolf Hitler, and you have your American soldiers, and you break through the Axis front lines and you go in and you seize the artillery of the German soldiers, maybe some of their 88 flak guns or something. You seize German artillery. Are you going to sit there and tell me that you shouldn't use their artillery against them? That you shouldn't turn that artillery around and fire those artillery rounds at Adolf Hitler's bunker? Of course you should. Trump should seize the moment. He should take the power that he has, a very limited window, and he should, metaphorically fire the artillery. Again, a metaphor, not an actual physical artillery at these tech giants. He should do it through regulatory control. He could do it through legal action. These companies have engaged in clear violations of RICO Act racketeering. They have engaged in massive fraud. They have engaged in human rights violations. They are guilty on so many levels. They could easily be investigated, indicted, perhaps shut down, or perhaps forced to sign a consent decree that simply says they will no longer violate the rights of American citizens, the basic human dignity right. And if you think that these companies have the right to do whatever they want, I'll ask you this. What if Mark Zuckerberg suddenly became a conservative overnight? No, what if he became, what if he became a racist bigot? What if Mark Zuckerberg announced that just as a bizarre example, that no black people were allowed to use Facebook? If he announced that, how insane would that be? How bigoted would that be? But according to so many people out there, oh, it's a private company. They can do whatever they want to do. Really? What if they announced that no gay people can post on Facebook? How big of an outcry would there be? because that's wrong. Every human, no matter the color of your skin, no matter your sexual orientation, no matter your religion, every human has a right to speak. But Facebook is banning conservatives, and Facebook is banning Christians, and Facebook is banning Trump supporters, and gun owners, and people who believe in the Constitution, defending our borders. Why is that okay? It's not okay. And it's time for Trump to unleash the full power of government that he currently controls to stop the censorship of humanity by evil techno-fascists.
Owen Schroyer here for Infowars.com, and I want to tell you guys about a great product that we have, and it is the Knockout Sleep Aid Formula. Now, I've got my Knockout right here, and we're going to take it and we're going to look at the actual results of the Knockout Sleep Formula in real time. So let me take my Knockout first. But while we're waiting to see the effects of the Knockout, I've got some very, very, very important news that I want to get to.
InfoWars Life wants to bring you a sleep support formula that goes above and beyond other leading brands at an affordable price. Get the sleep you deserve and experience the power of Knockout. Head on over to InfoWarsLife.com and say goodbye to fatigue. That's InfoWarsLife.com.